who is not going to be going to work tomorrow because of a threat from dumb fuck right-wingers. The House cancels a Thursday session after police warn of possible attack on Congress. The Senate plans to remain in session on Thursday to debate amendments to the COVID-19 relief bill, which we will get to shortly. March 4th is a significant date for far-right conspiracy theorists who believe that former President Donald Trump will return to power on that day. Presidents were inaugurated on March 4th until 1933, after which the 20th Amendment to the Constitution moved the date to January 20th. The threat comes nearly 2 months after extremist Trump supporters broke into the Capitol, forcing lawmakers and the vice president to flee moments ahead of an angry mob. The insurrection resulted in the deaths of several people and the arrest of more than 250. I saw somewhere that the QAnon shaman is facing 13 years. Damn. That you're trying to logic with people that didn't come to beliefs logically. Yet Trump will be the 19th president. What's that fucking conspiracy? Like the 1871 conspiracy or whatever? There's only been 18 presidents. Trump is going to be the 19th, sworn in tomorrow.
Do you think we're stupid? You think we're fools?
Yes, Rudy. The federal force charged with protecting Congress is aware of and prepared for any potential threats towards members of Congress or towards the Capitol complex. Sorry, I had to check that. It could have been a PlayStation drop. I usually don't have my ringtone on my phone. PlayStation drop. I'm a fan of cheese popcorn. I eat like white cheddar popcorn all the fucking time. I love that shit. I love sweet and salty popcorn. The kettle corn. Ooh, that's good shit when you're stoned. We've already made significant security upgrades to include establishing a physical structure and increasing manpower to ensure the protection of Congress, the public, and our police officers. I think they're fantastic. Somebody in college introduced me to the sweet and salty corn, the sweet and salty popcorn. Holy fuck. That is one of my stoner snacks of choice. So I would totally stream tomorrow, but I don't think anything is actually going to materialize. The Trump Hotel has jacked up its rates for tomorrow. I'm sure they want to capitalize on this all they can. This is the DC commander of the National Guard talking about the response to the January 6th attacks on Congress.
After conducting mission analysis to support the district's request, I sent a letter to the Secretary of the Army, Ryan McCarthy, on...
So now, he is talking about receiving the request from Congress to deploy the National Guard.
January 1st, requesting his approval. I received that approval in a letter dated January 5th, granting support to the Metropolitan Police Department with a 320 Guardsmen personnel to include a 40 personnel quick reaction force. The District of Columbia National Guard provides support to the Metropolitan Police Department, the United States Park Police, the United States Secret Service, and other federal and district law enforcement agencies in response to planned rallies, marches, protests, and other large-scale First Amendment activity on a routine basis. A standard component of such support is the stand-up of an off-site quick reaction force An
any
element of
opportunity to
guards held in
grift.
reserve with civil disturbance response equipment, helmets, shields, batons, etc. They are postured to quickly respond to an urgent and immediate need for assistance by civil authorities. The Secretary of the Army's January 5th letter to me withheld that authority for me to employ a quick reaction force. Additionally, the Secretary of the Army
The Secretary of the Army, a Trump appointee, withheld that authority from him.
January 5th letter to me withheld that authority for me to employ a quick reaction force. Additionally, the Secretary of the Army's memorandum to me required that a concept of operation be submitted to him before the employment of a quick reaction force. I found that requirement to be unusual, as was the requirement to seek approval to move.
So he had to submit a whole report before he could deploy the quick action team.
Guardsmen supporting the Metropolitan Police Department to move from one traffic control point to another.
That tells you all you need to know. Trump was in on it. NPR had a piece earlier today. It was called "The January 6th Riot Could Have Brought Lawmakers Together. It Did the Opposite." They will never understand they're a bunch of suckers. With the Dr. Seuss thing, with the Mr. Potato Head thing, these dumb fuck right-wingers don't understand they're the marks. I wish they could be embarrassed. I wish they could feel shame. Unfortunately, they cannot. When Congress reconvened the night of January 6th to finish certifying the Electoral College results, Representative Rodney Davis huddled with top Democrats on the House floor. Was on the dais with Speaker Nancy Pelosi and the Speaker and I, and also Zoe Lofgren, had a conversation about a bipartisan approach and a bipartisan commission, or a bicameral commission, to move things forward to find out what went wrong. Unfortunately, that bipartisan discussion didn't last too long. It did kind of look in the couple of days after the attack that the Republicans were going to come around and join us in the real world. That certainly did not last. Davis is Lofgren's GOP counterpart on the House Administration Committee. He was one of the first lawmakers to introduce legislation to establish a commission to investigate the January 6th attack, modeled after the successful bipartisan commission Congress enacted to investigate the terrorist attacks on September 11th. Davis voted to certify the election results on January 6th, but 139 of his House GOP colleagues backed objections. Last week, Representative Sean Casten, a Democrat of Illinois, broke with tradition and forced a symbolic protest vote on a bill to rename a post office. One of the most mundane activities in Congress, because it was sponsored by Representative Trent Kelly, a Republican from Mississippi, who voted to object to the electoral counts in Arizona and Pennsylvania. In the nearly 2 months since the attack, cross-party tensions in Congress have intensified in floor debate, in committee hearings, and in personal relationships. They're serving with people that are traitors. At an oversight committee hearing last week on the Postal Service, Rep. Jerry Conley, a Democrat of Virginia, snapped at Representative Jim Jordan, a Republican from Ohio, one of former President Donald Trump's most vocal allies in the House, after Jordan accused Democrats of politicizing the Postal Service to hurt Trump in the election. Talk about politicizing the Postal Service. We all know the attacks that the Trump administration launched on the Postal Service during the election. I wish these people could feel shame. Jim Jordan feels no shame. I don't know how he is able to step out of his fucking house. I don't know how he has the nerve to show his fucking face in public. Yet we still keep hearing about stupid shit dumbass Jim Jordan said. Jim Jordan, who covered up sexual abuse at Ohio State University. Where are the QAnon fucks? Democrats have felt so threatened by Republicans that they installed metal detectors for lawmakers to enter the House chamber, which Representative Lauren Boebert, a Republican from Colorado, called a political stunt. Several Democrats have also alleged, without evidence, that some Republican lawmakers may have aided Capitol rioters. I don't know that they don't have evidence. Davis says the metal detectors and those kinds of allegations have likewise eroded trust among Republicans towards Democrats. He said, it's very frustrating when you have colleagues without any evidence just throw out wild conspiracy accusations. This is a Republican accusing Democrats of throwing out wild conspiracy accusations. To finish his quote, and frankly, there's got to be some accountability on their behalf to provide that evidence or apologize. How many things could you apply that statement to? That was a Republican talking about Democrats. All of this could be examined by an outside commission, but party leaders have so far been deadlocked over the makeup of the commission. Republicans want an even 5-5 partisan split like the 9/11 Commission, while Democrats suggested a partisan 7-4 advantage. They also can't agree on the scope of the investigation. Democrats are skeptical of Republicans' willingness to examine Trump's role in the events of January 6th, while Republicans think Democrats want to control an investigation that could expose security failures on their watch.